Okay, so here is DCN. It's been requested already for a while. Sorry it's taking a little bit, going through a bit of a backlog of requests. So here DCN shows a very lateral sideways movement, which is becoming the norm. But before that, there had to have been a 5-wave impulse. Sometimes you might think, okay, if I have wave 1 here, wave 2, if I do 3, 4, and 5. And you might think, oh, wait a minute. You can't have the wave 4 overlapping with 1. That's rule number 2 that's being broken. 4 cannot overlap with the peak of 1. So you might think, where is wave 3 and 4 then? Well, someone might say this little tiny peak is wave 1, here's wave 2, 3, 4, and 5. Technically, that could be correct. It obeys the 3 rules. But when you look at the form and the fit, maybe it could be better. So if you bring back the 1 and 2 here, whenever you get a 4 and 1 overlap, you either have to move the 1 back or raise the 3 and 4. So in this case, if we zoom in this 1-hour chart, I would do that all the time. Move the 3 and the 4 here. You could barely see it, I know, but it subdivides well into 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as well. Now, many other eliticians will say, no, 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 that is absolutely wrong. That's not how you do it. This is how I would do it. They may come up with another variation. And to that, I will say, you're right. Absolutely. Thank you. Moving on. Because whenever you get two eliticians in a room, they're going to start arguing. Many of the eliticians are sticklers, which is perfectly fine. But I've also been very consistent in saying there are multiple pathways to the same destination. There will almost always be more than one way to label same pathway of waves. So is it very subjective? Yes, it can. When in choosing and selecting the pathway that you want to count. Absolutely. So here, after 5 waves, you get an ABC. Many might have thought that the correction from here was an ABC. ABC. And they may have thought, oh, I counted ABC. Now the price is rising. Oh, this is the bottom of the correction. Thank God. Kaboom. Whereas it was really this. And you might be thinking, well, how do you know that it's not going to be down here? Well, not negative. Maybe down to wave 2. You don't. You don't have the certainty of that. It could certainly be like this, yes. But from a subwave perspective, if we have A, B, and C, C has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves. B has A, B, C, 3 waves. If you look at the highest resolution of the A wave, this is not a zigzag. This is more of a B, C, A, B, C, flat. And if this is a flat, this whole thing's A, B, C. 3, ABC, 3, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So subway counting will give you the geo positioning as to where you are in the whole scheme of the waves. What do you do with this? Whenever you see a sideways movement, it's a very corrective movement of the price. If I zoom in on this one, did we have a bit of a breakout here? Let me see. The lowest bottom is right here. I do count the wicks when I count the waves. So do I see 5 waves up? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Beautiful. You might ask, well, I see 5 waves here too. And you might say it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. How can this be a 3-wave B? This cannot be a 5-wave impulse. 4 is overlapping with 1. This is ABC A, ABC B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for C of B. So here, if I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's wave 5, 5-wave impulse. After that, talk about hurry up and wait. The time it took, and this is really the only time I measure time, to really illustrate the time it took to put in the 5 waves was equivalent to this horizontal line. Now the time it takes so far to put in is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, less than 9 times. Longer than it took to put in the impulse. So this, I believe, illustratively, could give you the hurry up and the wait. It takes a very long time. Now, from the perspective of shapes and pattern, we could potentially see this as a very wide-looking bowl, a rounded bottom, which is very common. Very common. And this rounded bottom could end up as a cup and handle. Absolutely. And that'll give the impetus. So that means if we already passed the midpoint of this cup, sooner or later, where you need to see an impulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another impulse. If this is the pattern that's going to take. Now, of course, there could be one more lower low in the form of the correction, but still stay above the start of this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this whole correction could count as WX, YX, one more lower low like this. And if that's the case, this could start from here. No difference. And that one more lower low could coincide if Bitcoin decides to take another dive towards 8,000. And that's clearly possible, probable rather. So we are more than half done with this correction, at least for the DNT side. And I think for the overall correction of the whole cryptosphere, we should be more than 2/3 done by now. That's my projection. I hope you found this to be helpful and informative, and I hope this analysis will help you to augment your own due diligence. Thank you and have a good night.